Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Elden Ring. I didn't mean to go this long without an update, but I've been pretty busy and exhausted. One of the things I've been focusing on, though, is Halloween X, the 10th anniversary coming up. I'll have some news to share with you all about that probably next week, but I already have most of the list together, and I can say it's going to be 10 days this year. So it's going to be a big one. It's very, very special to me. Especially the fact that this is such a huge anniversary for it. So that is, if you follow that cliffside around, that is the one that led to the broken bridge. It's the one with all of the skeletons and the tombstones where the Tibia Mariner was. Where he was summoning the giant laser eye skeletons. And then this clearing here with the bats is where we did the last assassination mission for Volcano Manor to kill Juno Hoslow. And then that's the Spirit Spring from the big bridge. Instead, we're going to be taking it up this time to go a little bit further on this path up here, because there is another bridge not too far from here. There's also a really important set of ruins up here with something that I think is quite cool. To the Stargazer's ruins. Somebody asked us to come here once.
Where did you go?
I want to make sure this bat doesn't...
Go to see the stars.
There we are.
I've been waiting ever so long. Forever and ever it seems.
Don't worry, you won't have to wait much longer. So we come into our inventory, go over to Spirit Ashes, and remember the spirit jellyfish Roderica gave us?
Dear sister, you're finally here. No time to waste. Let's see the stars.
Isn't that so sweet? We get a spin. Aurelia and Aureliette. Finally reunited. That's beautiful. One side quest with a happy ending. Thanks to us and Roderica. And, as a little material reward, the Primal Glintstone Blade. Which is another Whetstone Blade. Oh, no, this one is... okay. An old glintstone blade's been stained with blood. Reduces FP consumption of sorcerers and sorceries and incantation at the cost of maximum HP. The old sorcerers would slice open their hearts with these blades to imbue a primal glintstone with their soul, and thus did they die. The Amber of the Heart and the Amber of the Cosmos. Next up, there is something else involving a couple of characters, a few NPC quest lines, near this bridge. You just hook up here around the bend. And it is Corhyn and Goldmask again, on their pilgrimage. Hey, Somber 9, not bad. I see. I hope you took notes. That's going to be important later, what he said.
Nice to see you. I can't believe you've come all this way. I've been gripped by a terrifying thought. The rhythms and calculus of the Master's finger betray a suspicion of the holism of the Golden Order. A conceit, I am afraid, that cannot be overlooked. Oh, but how could this be? I dread to even entertain the possibility, but somehow I cannot cast aside my doubts about the Master. Tell me, have I simply lost my head? Only If the Master were true to the Golden Order, why would he think to breach this forbidden mount of fire? Oh, Master, put my mind at ease. Dispel these fearsome thoughts. I want to place my trust in you, to be your scribe.
Give a tonic of forgetfulness. That is the one that we got for Raya's questline from Tanith.
What is this? It will make me forget, you say, so that I can push aside these frightful thoughts. Would that I could. Would that I could. It will make me forget, you say, so that I can push aside. Would that I could. May the Golden Order shine through you.
So Corhyn is beginning to lose faith, but not in the Golden Order, in his master, because he doesn't seem willing to accept whatever Goldmask has discovered about the Golden Order, because it seems like it might be critical of it. Cannot be. The Golden Order cannot fail, it can only be failed. Anyway, next we are going to break into that magically sealed tower we came across earlier. But doing so requires us to start from the frozen lake, so we can then just follow the bend up here, hug the left edge, don't aggro too many skeletons, and then we look for that broken bridge. And once we get there, we jump off into the abyss. No, the arrow sticking into the ground gave it away. Excuse me? No. Stop that. It gives us a helpful marker moving forward. The thing that you're really supposed to look for, the visual cue, much like the crystal caves in Dark Souls 1, is the snow falling on the invisible platform. And the little clouds of blue dust it kicks up. But I find those to be kind of inconsistent and hard to spot because everything else is blue and white as well. The bloodstains and the messages are a really good way to judge, though. And here is where it gets a little nerve-wracking for me. Up until this point, it's just a straight path. But here it becomes an invisible spiral staircase. Heretical rise. Oh yeah, and there's a couple of these dudes. And I think there's one more at the door outside. We'll be ready for him. God help you if you're not playing online, though, and you have to rely on the snow visual cue alone. I find that to be kind of difficult. I'm gonna try this out. I haven't tried this one's Ash Boar. This is my new lightning whip. Oh, that's the Thunderbolt. Okay, it's that. So, that means I should just be able to do this. Oh, okay. So I think I'm equipped for pretty much any situation now. And at the top of Heretical Rise, we find the Founding Reign of Stars, the eldest primeval sorcery said to have been discovered by an ancient astrologer, a sorcery of legendary status. Summons a dark cloud of stars overhead. Shortly after, the cloud will release a violent deluge of star rain. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. Charging increases potency. Though thought to be the founding glintstone sorcery, the glimpse of the primeval current that the astrologer saw became real, and the star's amber rained down on this land. And then, if we go back down, if we take the elevator down, think there might be one or two of them left, actually. Did they put any of them on the bottom floor? I'm going to bet they did. Hold on. I hear them. Yeah, they did. Oh, hello. Just right in front of me. And then a bunch of them outside. But since that doesn't matter... Oh, the main room's empty anyway. This is where we first encountered it. So next thing that we are going to do on our tour is head to the Cave of the Forlorn in the inner consecrated snowfields over here. I cleaned up a bunch of small things off screen, which is why I already have that Site of Grace available. Don't worry, nothing interesting or trophy relevant or otherwise important. So the features of this cave include a cool dragon corpse that also doubles as a ramp to get back out. And then also, you can see through the ice here to the floor below, giving you an idea of where you want to head. Some sense of direction. Now, I will say about the rest of the Cave of the Forlorn, it has no other interesting features. It has 0 other things that are interesting about it, and no items in it that I can remember that are noteworthy. It does have a lot of really mean Misbegotten enemies, and a lot of items that are just traps, that are just like shitty arteria leaves or something of that nature, designed to draw you into the range of like 3 of them. 3 Misbegotten. This is the room that you want to come back to with the stair step pillars. This one is just a hero's rune. Somewhere else in this room, I think off to the left, is another. Yeah, there's a Mikola's Lily at the bottom, kind of drawing your eye towards progression, and then one at the top. Jump down, and that's like half the dungeon already. This always feels like a scary fall. Somebody sent me a video about how the Elden Ring fall damage actually works. I have to get around to watching that. I want it demystified. A load of spirit jellyfish, which might be what we saw from the bottom. Might now actually be right underneath the entrance. These are not too worrisome. Even the poison buildup, even if that does boil over, I'm fine with it. Poison is a baby status effect at this point. It's like a status effect for little baby. Baby's first damage over time. Okay, now we have another pit to fall down. We'll be leaving our unfriendly jellyfish behind. They do not care that we reunited Aurelia and Aureliette. They may in fact bear a grudge over it. But with this last fall, we get to the only real reason to come down here. The boss of the Cave of the Forlorn is another Leonine Misbegotten called the Misbegotten Crusader. But look at that weapon. And that struck a Golden Order pose and threw a light wave at me with his incredibly ostentatious sword. Get you out, my Naginata. My trusty Naginata. So happy they find. I have to do my Hisako cosplay at some point. Hisako. The Golden Order Greatsword. We get his fancy sword. So we've encountered what? The one in Redmane Castle, The one in Castle Morn. This one is way out of the way, though. Greatsword made of light, modeled after the Elden Ring itself. Forged by King Consort Radagon to proudly symbolize the tenets of the Golden Order, one of the legendary armaments. Telltale signs betray that this was once the greatsword bequeathed to him by his first wife, Renala. Unique skill, established order. Why does this Misbegotten Crusader have this weapon? That is an interesting mystery, isn't it? To tell you the truth, I don't know if anyone has any conclusive theories, but there are a lot. There is a lot of conjecture. It's got to be indicative of something, right? Because this is an otherwise random leonine misbegotten in the middle of nowhere with a legendary sword that was Radagon's. The location of this enemy and that sword... Oh, you're still here stomping that head.
Wow, I can I?
Was it maybe a spoil of wars? The leonine misbegotten in Castle Morn with the Game of Thrones greatsword? Were they slaves armed to fight the giants? Is that why he is a crusader? Another mystery. Why is this room empty? That should not be... I did read a possible fix for this quest line not progressing, and it's to go and sit at the secluded cell before Godric. And that might move things forward. We're trying to clean up one last quest for the episode. Does this do anything? Are you still there stomping on the head, Gostock? Okay. Cool. Finicky, finicky, finicky. What was I saying, though? Oh, right. Alright, so things that we get from data mining are not necessarily textual evidence, but at the same time, it's a little hard to just flat out dismiss the Misbegotten being called Children of Radagon in the game files, and the winged Misbegotten ashes being called Radagon's Chimera in the launch version of the game. But then again, that was changed. Maybe to make it more ambiguous, maybe to yeah, I don't know. Okay, good. This has progressed it, though. Nepheli and Kenneth.
It's been some time. I must thank you for your aid. I told Father I would be with him no longer. I remembered the vow I took when I first became a warrior, so many moons ago. This land is much like the one from which I hail. I will call upon the storm to drive away the foulness that has settled on the winds. Again, I am Nepheli, warrior. Some call me by the title of Lady, but I remain the same woman underneath, though I have now abandoned my former guidance. I cannot express how much you've helped me. Should you become Elden Lord, I would gladly lighten your burden. Farewell, fellow warrior. I will remain to summon the storm, but your guidance and your fight surely lie elsewhere.
We get an ancient dragon somber smithing stone for following this through.
Your guidance surely lie elsewhere.
Ah, nice to see you after so long. Safe and sound, I take it, yes? Good. Ah, quite. I have indeed selected a new ruler. Lady Nepheli is strong and just, worthy of the burden of Limgrave's lineage. Such is the sincere opinion of I, Kenneth Height, no less. For the time being, I share command of the castle with my lady, but I plan on returning to my fort afterwards, at which time I can fulfill my old promise by raising you to the glory of knighthood. I hope it is just as wonderful as you imagine. For the time being, at which time I can fulfill my old promise by raising you to the glory of knighthood. I hope it is just as wonderful as you imagine. For the time being...
Oh, he's still so full of himself.
Ah, You, is it? Haven't seen your mug in quite some time. As you can see, I'm the new lady's attendant. Freedom was worth squat. Besides, I like it round here. Lady Nepheli still fair of heart and countenance. Still, I have the lady's trust, so I can loot all the corpses I like. I'll let you take a look at the goods if you fancy.
You're a little scummy, Gostock, but I can't talk because I'm absolutely dipping into your blood somber stones. Thank you for the additional Ancient Dragon Somber Smithing Stone. And with that, we've completed yet another character's storyline. Nepheli Luz and Kenneth's. And also technically Gostock's. His is also a part of this. We could have killed him, but we wouldn't have gotten that smithing stone. So now there is one more small thing to do in this zone before the boss. Which means we're going to start by heading towards the forge. And we'll find the boss entrance right here. One of the boss entrances. There's another one a little bit further ahead. But there is also another site of grace that's just right here. It's better than having to run from the Church of Repose. But also, I didn't find this on my first playthrough until after I fought the boss. And I struggled mightily with the coming boss the first time through. Now I just find him kind of annoying and obnoxious, because he has some habits I'm not a fan of. Before we do that, though, this is one of the things I was talking about. This is kind of on our way to the thing. Okay, so we were going to dodge the giants throwing magic pots. For the trolls, they're a problem. The dogs are a problem. We have Kalid birds. They're a problem. We have not run out of problems that are going to darken our doorstep, though. I want to kind of come to this southwest edge, and where... I think I'm going to go further south. This is kind of looping back towards the Church of Repose, but it can't be helped. Whoops! We've climbed up on top of the giant skeleton. Back of the giant. I believe... Oh, yeah, giant hand. We have to book it. The largest category of hands. There's some flame slugs chilling too in the snow. Big giant skeleton head. And from here we should be able to see what I'm looking for. Yeah, there it is. That is the giant conquering hero's grave. Giant conquering hero's grave. The heroic conquest. Okay, so from here, we just need to find a way to get down to the lower part of the mountain. And so we'll do that by following this ledge kind of northeast a little bit, but hugging the left side. And then it eventually pitches down in elevation a bit. This should be a fine drop. Please don't catch up with me, Kalid bird. Oh good, I did not need that in my life. Oh boy. Okay, Okay, cool. This is good to drop on, and then we're just about low enough now. Yes, good. What is going on with the performance in this area? It's pretty bad. Let's pick back up now, though. I will give Elden Ring credit for being FromSoftware's largest and most ambitious game, and for having the sheer amount of stuff in it that it does. Oh! Yeah, I forgot about that finger jump scare. It's been pretty technically sound compared to some of their past games. Occasionally when it does chug like that, kind of catches me off guard. It's not like Bloodborne where you just become one with the frame pacing issues. If only there was a way for people to play Bloodborne at a higher frame rate, maybe even a higher native resolution, perhaps on some sort of personal computer. If only. Continues to boggle my mind that they just leave that money on the table. My assumption, though, is that they are trying to build hype. They're trying to build this to a fever pitch. The most ancient of the Fire Monk's incantations creates a fire within that greatly increases fire damage negation. It's said that this incantation was used during the war against the giants long ago, during which it protected the champions. It's gonna be the Final Fantasy VII remake all over again. People asked for this, begged for that for decades before it finally happened. It was at a point where people thought it was just a fever dream and it was going to be like The Last Guardian and just not come out. Both of which ended up being wrong. It's still every now and then I look at The Last Guardian on my shelf and I'm like, wow, I can actually put this in and play it. That's crazy. And then I don't replay it. I love Ueda. I love his brain and his imagination and his approach to game design. And I appreciate Ico. And I appreciate The Last Guardian, and I like it a lot more than Ico. But I don't want to really replay it. Shadow of the Colossus is always down for that, though. I hope he gets to make more games. I hope he gets to continue doing what he does, along with his whole studio. So, these golden seals, as you've seen with the imps... Oh, you're not taking the bait? Are you also? Because that one imp just kind of bugged out. Or he isn't triggered to activate until I go into a certain area. This seal will burn away the shadow and let you actually attack them. Wow, that's taking its sweet time. Okay, this sucks. I'm hitting the bricks. Don't like it? Weird cat thing? You can just leave. I could have sworn there is one more illusory wall in this dungeon. I think this place is kind of neat, though. It's a cool little puzzle dungeon. And it's kind of the closest thing that we are going to actually get to a legacy dungeon in the Mountaintops of Giants before we go fight the main boss of the area. Oh, that one finally did wake up. We'll at least burn him up. Sorry, friend. Oh, they do follow me down here. Oh, there's more. There's many more. Now, what is the function of this room? If I... Oh, I really thought this room was supposed to be something. No, I'm wrong. Yeah, I should have just kept going. I want the imps at least. I don't know that any of them are coming. I might just cut this whole bit. Okay, none of them are coming. Maybe? Okay, I don't think any of them are coming. So instead, we'll take the side tunnel and then... That... I thought that should be activated. One of those flame statues. That also doubles as an elevator. Unless we've just skipped a part. Oh, good. The regular ones also trip you up. Yips. Yeah-oh. Yeah-oh. You have to watch pretty much anything in the end game. You'll be fine, and then they'll just shred you. Just shreds, you say. Okay, so before we go back up, we will whip the elevator. Ah, that will activate them. Again, I thought this was supposed to start active, though. Either way, that's also re-enabled the gold seal that was above them. Oh, hello. Yikes. And we can get to that with the imp statue. But first, I'll deal with the fire monk. So I've been hearing something kind of interesting. There might be something brewing with Elden Ring outside of games, and I guess that comic that got released. There is a Polygon article that pointed out that both Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin have been teasing something along the lines of like a TV series or a movie. Martin especially laid it on thick, like, oh, you didn't hear anything from me? What rumor? I don't know anything about any rumor. Nope, nothing. Not a word. And then recently, Namco's president gave an interview about wanting to expand the brand. Which, all things considered, is not surprising. If anything, it feels inevitable. Especially since they know that Elden Ring is a mainstream hit. Candle stand used in worship of Birak. The first time we have heard that name. The most hallowed monk prelate of the Giant's Flame. Concerned over the lazy arrogance with which the monks treated the flame, Birak severed his own head as lesson to the others, intended to be used as a candle stand. His faith yet smolders from within the cranial vessel. What is our count of body parts that have been repurposed into weapons? At this point. I mean, bosses love doing it themselves. They've loved that since Dark Souls 2. The last giant ripping a limb off. People pulling swords out of themselves. We also have all these cool troll statues in this dungeon, which I don't think we've seen elsewhere. Statues honoring the trolls. Alright, so our next goal in this sub-dungeon is going to be to activate the seal on the floor there. Because it's necessary in order to fight that troll, who is guarding the door in the giant conquering hero's grave. Trolls have been given a position of reverence here. the thing that reactivates the seal is sending the elevator back up. Once it's in the top position, the seal should... Oh, may not have timed that perfectly. There it is. There you are. You touched it. Burn! Burn! Unfortunately, it doesn't make them that weak. It just makes them able to be attacked. The seal does the bare minimum. Gonna have to make our way through all this HP. Oh, he's mad about it. It's not falling over, though. Alright. Perish. Stompy stomp. Oh, he's pulling the sword out, right. Oh, yeah, that was closer than I would have liked. All good. All good. Somewhere, a heavy door is opened. Like I said, it is necessary to fight that troll in order to progress in the dungeon. You can hit the bricks with almost all the enemies in this dungeon. They aren't letting you buy him, though. Trolls are just too important here. Which makes you think, what occurred that gave them that status? Oh yeah, the other thing about this, you can also jump down from the balcony here. And I think there might be some... Oh yeah, there's this big dude over here. And there's also a pretty big seal. Like an incantation seal. That's the ladder that'll get us back, I believe. Don't think we need to do that. Okay, let's just get this big boy out of the way. These ones, remember, are slightly harder than most big enemies in that they do not stagger at all, really. They do not care about your jumping attacks. So you actually have to fight them like real enemies. Somewhat. You mostly have to fight them like real enemies. Mostly. And for our efforts, we get the giant seal. We could have just grabbed that and this great grave glovewort. The maximum upgrade material. Sacred seal depicting the one-eyed god of the fire giants adorned with braids of red hair. Sacred seal wielded by fire monks and prelates. This catalyst enhances giant's flame incantations. I'm just saying, we could have just dined and dashed, not dealt with the enemy. And we're ready to fight the boss of the giant conquering hero's grave. Who is the giant conquering hero? Or at least, who is protecting the grave? The ancient hero of Zamor. We were in the Zamor ruins earlier at the start of the Mountaintops. We also got a spell called Zamor Ice Storm? So that's what they are about. They are the frost to the giant's flame. And employed against the giants for that exact reason. Now for an ancient giant conquering hero, this one, a little bit of a chump. We're going to let him buff and let him show off a little. Because he can do some stuff, especially now that he's in his second phase. But it's mostly straightforward, pretty telegraphed. Nothing too nuts. And we can still bully him whenever we want. Oh, that does last for a little bit. There he goes. He can armor through it by being midway through his swing. That way he can actually tag me. I do like his armor set, though. Give that to me. Give it. Give it, give it, give it. Ooh, okay. You don't want to be too reckless. It would be embarrassing to die now. Ah, that's good enough. Oops, no it's not. Oh, this one, Hoarfrost Stomp. Kinda. Hoarfrost Stomp variant. And yeah, we'll play this safe. Safe-ish. Safe-ish. It was safe-ish. And we do in fact get it all. And the curved sword. And the brand new car. Oh, whoops. That's... Oh, I like the look of that. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Armor worn by Knights of Zamor. Hailed as heroes in the war against the Giants, these long-lived warriors clad in biting, freezing winds are said to have been the mortal enemies of the Fire Giants since time immemorial. And also the weapon. Weapon wielded by Knights of Zamor. In apparent devotion to winter, the curved blade is styled after an icy wind and imbued with a powerful frost effect. I love the icicles on it. It's a cool feature of it. Alright, and that is that. Now we can get back to, not the Church of Repose, the Foot of the Forge. One big thing left to do in the Mountaintops for the time being. And then it's kind of on to the end game. The next zone is an endgame zone. And everything we have left is pretty much endgame quests. But first, we have a rather large obstacle in our path. Some might say a giant obstacle. Take number 3. Some unfortunate things occurred. I'll probably splice those in. Ah, Fire Giant. He didn't start with that the last 2 times. Good, he usually does. It's actually unusual for him to not do that at the beginning. So we've got 3 phases ahead of us. For phase 1, we want to focus on his left leg up here until the brace or the anklet around his leg breaks. It exposes the bad leg. Oh, the shockwave hurt me really bad. There goes that. There it is. Now we can milk this for a little bit of extra damage before he does this. He's going to roll away now, power up a little, and start shooting fireballs. And that's really the only difference for phase 2. The big one comes in... oh, he summoned a spell that we got back in Limgrave, I believe. Flame of the Fell God. Floating orb of fire just exploded behind us. Oh, hello. Was I attacking that stump? We have to really wait. Delay that roll against the fireball and you'll be fine. And then just keep wailing away at the leg. Also, to note, you can summon Alexander for this fight too. His sign is just inside the beginning of the boss arena. And we're going to run forward to trigger that. It's proximity based. By the way, there's a big upside when you find summon signs inside the arena. Usually when you summon a friend or NPC in for co-op, the game increases the health of the boss to compensate for the extra player. watching the shadow. But anyway, real quick, when the sign is inside the arena, the boss's health stays the same as if you were fighting solo. Painful to watch, but so metal. Even my least favorite main boss in Elden Ring still brings some stuff to the table. Still brings the hype cutscenes, especially. Volcanic stomach mouth eruption, of course. After the third volley, I usually head straight to him. So in this phase, instead of attacking the legs, he dropped the elbow on me! Oh, let's go! I didn't react in time, but still, that's a cool attack. He's doing the cool stuff. Now he's rolling. Boom. If you attack the eye when he drops the elbow, he starts shooting fire. But also, it's very vulnerable. Usually you're going after the hands, though. He does move them a lot. And he relocates a lot, which is... Oh! Hello! What the hell was that? Oh, and in this phase, he can summon 2 of those. I've never seen him stumble like that after a roll. That's... Huh. Okay. Huh. I don't know what to say. Just kind of, huh. Is that... Okay. This one's... Okay, if you just spam roll, you'll be fine for that one. The other one he does is where he breathes it straight down like a dragon, and it goes everywhere. Yeah, this is... The fact that he moves around so much highlights one of my problems with this fight. Which is that he does a lot of stuff that just wastes your time and stalls the fight out. Which is really annoying given he already has a lot of health. And the primary culprit of that is his dodge roll. Oh, that's fun though. If he feels like being really obnoxious, he's not even being mean to me. He can spam that. And then the other issue, which kind of ties into how much he moves, is the terrain is not very even. Which can cause camera problems, but also sometimes he'll just roll up or down high ledges that make you run the long way around to get to him. I don't think it's a particularly fun thing to do. Oh good, that second one kind of clipped him. All things considered, this is going fine. He can really punish just 1 or 2 silly mistakes, though. He does kind of have some ridiculous damage if he wants to. Or if you get caught in a nasty overlap. But his stuff is pretty dodgeable. Oh, this is one of the ones that does scare me, though, because of this. Whenever you have an attack like that, I believe I've said this before, if it knocks you over, don't quick rise, because you'll remain invulnerable while you're on the floor. It lets you survive some things that you otherwise might not. Some things that would hit you twice. That's why sometimes getting hit early in a combo isn't that bad, because it'll knock you down and just get you through the rest of it. Drop the elbow, yeah! I want him to do a drop kick as well. Well, he can't really do that. We found his bone earlier. That was a femur or maybe a humerus? Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I wanted to finish this in a kind of silly, fun way, but... He has shown me the error of my ways. I'll simply whip him once more in the thigh. Oh, cool. We have that out of the way now. And before we actually read the remembrance, I'm gonna head all the way up to the top of the forge, because there's a site of grace there. Gonna make use of it before we burn the Erdtree. And I'm gonna head back to Round Table Hold first, before we do anything. So we can check that remembrance out, along with what we get from it. No, they want me to come up this way. Okay. Of course, we have another giant Ultimacia's castle chain. Just gives another stunning view. The scale of this all feels so incredible. And it's nasty, uneven surfaces just threaten to toss you off into the void. So that's the Flame of Ruin. Were you expecting something more impressive? Maybe. Or maybe you did expect it to be diminished, a fragment of its former self, like the giants themselves. We will not talk to Melina just yet. Just had to unlock that real quick. And also, we can talk to Gideon while we're here. He has new dialogue about Nepheli. The fire giant is a survivor of the war against the giants. Upon realizing the flames of their forge would never die, Queen Marika marked them with a curse. O trifling giant, mayest thou tend thy flame for eternity. Maybe we released him from his duty. Maybe we did him a favor. The fire giants borrowed from the power of a fell god, and still they were defeated, yet their failure released them from their solitary curse to serve as keepers of the flame for eternity. Yeah, like I was saying. Tragic ending. No less. And another whip. Hefty whip woven from the flame-red hair of a fire giant. Flame-red hair! Every giant is red of hair, and Radagon was said to have despised his own red locks. Perhaps that was a curse of their kind. You know who else had red hair? The Leonine Misbegotten. Oh wait, this isn't the wrong way. Left side.
I hear you helped get the girl back on her feet. Though I'm not her foster father anymore, I'd still like to thank you. Sorry for the time you had to waste.
Shameful.
Ah, I see you've laid your hands on the other secret medallion. I'm glad to see my counsel has borne fruit, but the honor of the deed is yours alone. You've made more of yourself than Ensha has. Now, more importantly, both secret medallions are in. I suppose you'd like to know then? What awaits you on the path ahead? Me too, my friend. Me too. I wait with bated breath.
I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad that stepped up. Now, if you'll excuse me momentarily, I have to do something real quick before we go back to the forge. See you in a sec. Welcome back. Let's finally talk to Melina about committing a cardinal sin.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate. Are you prepared to commit a cardinal sin? Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment. O Erdtree, you shall burn. Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
Welcome back to the subterranean shunning grounds. I've loaded a save file from before the cutscene where Melina burns the Erdtree, because there's another way to complete this section. It starts by heading back down to the blasphemous Three Fingers.
Go to the door ahead. After divesting yourself of your possessions, it will surely open, and the Three Fingers will welcome you.
Way ahead of you, Hayata. Hey, does anyone else look at this door and think about Monster Hunter for some reason? Oh, it is a great day, my friends. I have been embraced by the Three Fingers. And they have gifted me with glowing eyes and radical burn scars. Nasty looking blisters, actually. Harry Dubois, you really are becoming the Lord of Frenzied Flame.
The flame of chaos has nestled within you. Could you please rest your hand upon me? Burn me with the flame to make me your maiden. Oh, it burns. My eyes, they're melting. Thank you. I have touched them. The words of the Three Fingers. As your maiden, allow me to divine them. All that there is came from the one great. Then came fractures, and births, and souls. But the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. And so, what was borrowed must be returned, melted all away with the yellow chaos flame, until all is one again. Those who gave me grace howled without words, saying they wished they were never born. Become their lord, take their torment, despair, their affliction, every sin, every curse, and melt it all away. As the Lord of Chaos, no more fractures, no more birth.
That is certainly a vision for the world. I do like how this fits with the imagery that they've been using, though. Burning it all the way, melting it all back into like one glob. Formless sacred seal bestowed by the Maiden of the Three Fingers. Enhances incantations of Frenzied Flame. This seal is the mark of the Lord of Frenzied Flame. Scales up their incantations. Yeah, that all fits with the imagery of a crucible. And Melania immediately has some words for us.
You have inherited the frenzied flame. A pity. You are no longer fit. Our journey together ends here. And remember, should you rise as the Lord of Chaos, I will kill you. As sure as night follows day, such is my duty. For allowing you the strength of runes. Goodbye, my companion. Goodbye, Torrent.
Tarnished, if you choose the Lord of Frenzied Flame ending, it's on sight. And nothing remains of Hyetta but the flames themselves. Hey, at least we got to keep the horse. Now, back to the forge itself. To burn the Erdtree a second time. Let's commit cardinal sins twice! But this time without sacrificing Melina. Listen to the sounds of flame. And somehow we are now in crumbling Farum Azula, the Lapsophobia zone. More on that next time. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.